What's up guys, Cloudie here, checking in with a new episode from Valheim, which I actually managed to record earlier and nvidia decided to record the wrong monitor, so all that footage was lost and done in vain. So now we kind of have to retrace back to what happened in episode 1 and 2. So we talked a bit about the basics of the game, found this hut, which I renovated during the last episode, but you can see that now. It is night right now, and what happens at night, as you can see, it's cold. When it's cold, when you feel cold, your stamina regeneration will drop. Now if you combine that with being also wet, because you were standing in the rain or stuff, then you will have like 0 mana regeneration. So it's kind of not nice to be out in the cold. What you can do is you go close to a fire, which will then, as you can see in the top right corner, it will give you a buff that will let you regenerate or not be cold. Now the other thing about the night is that you are more likely to be attacked during the night by hostile monsters. In this first biome this is not really a big issue, but later on it can be a problem, especially because there are elite versions of the monsters. These are usually marked with either 1 or 2 stars where their health bar is, and the 2-star versions can be really tough. Actually, they hit super hard, and those supposedly only spawn at night. So being out at night can be quite dangerous, especially when you are under-geared for the biome that you are adventuring in, but it can also be good to like go hunting. Now what can you do during the night is you can go to sleep. You can see I have built a bed here right into the grass somehow, and I also have a torch there, whatever. So with the bed you can just go to sleep, and then you will wake up in the morning. In multiplayers sessions everyone needs to go to bed, and then that's when the time will accelerate. To be able to sleep you need a bed, of course, and you need a fire next to it. Now fire is bad for your health. If you walk into it, it will set you on fire, so that's kind of not nice. Also, you can't place this fireplace onto wood, so that's why it's outside. But if it was raining, then the rain could put out the fire, so there is a roof above it. But as you can see, there is also smoke coming up, and this is not just a visual effect. The smoke needs place to go, otherwise you will be choking, and that's also not good for your health. The way I did it is that I have a higher ceiling where the roof is above the fire. This way the smoke can rise up and go away. Otherwise it would be coming out at the sides, and yeah, then I would be choking every time I went this part. Although this fire is not in the best place because I'm gonna fall into it from this ledge so many times, let's call it a minor design in flow, or minor flow in the design. Okay, I almost managed to say that properly. Now we have a cooking station built on top of this one, and as you can see we can put some meat on it, which we managed to collect from the local wildlife. We also have some flint, which was obtained from it's usually you can find it near water or inside water. These are needed for some upgrades that we're gonna be using here. And while we are cooking, you should hear a sizzling sound soon, which marks the this is one. So this is the sizzling sound that tells you that your food is ready, which is important because if you don't take it off the fire at that point, then it will turn into coal, which is also a material later on, but it's kind of a waste of all that meat, because meat is like the best food you can have for your character. Now at the top right you can also see that I'm resting now, which is giving me comfort level 4. This is a buff that you can see, the rested buff, the red one, which gives you increased stamina regeneration, and this is quite nice because it lets you do more stuff. As you get more commodities, like I could craft now a deer rug for this, that would increase the comfort level by 1, and as we go up in the comfort levels, this buff you receive will last longer and longer. And we also have like a chest here which collects our day-to-day items. We don't need the neck trophy, for instance, so I can just put it there. And we have obtained some bees, and we can do something with that here. Also our crafting station, which lets us create stuff and repair stuff and also upgrade stuff. Next up, actually we're gonna be needing a bow, because bows are important. That lets you hunt down other stuff, like especially deers that usually run away from you. You can actually sneak up on them, but the bow will just make it so much easier to actually hunt them down. This first one is a bit weak, not gonna lie. because the range is not terribly high, and the projectiles have a pretty big drop, so it's not easy to hit anything with them. But later on this gets better, so with the advanced bows it's becoming more and more easy to do stuff, to hit stuff actually. Now we do need to craft something, and I may have crafted away all the wood I needed. Yep, I definitely did. So then we take out our new trusty flint axe and gonna just hunt down some logs here. As you can see, you can actually multi-hit stuff, and that lets you be more efficient with your work. Okay, I think that's enough wood for us now. No, actually we do need a little bit more, because I also wanted to tell you about buildings and integrity and how all of that works in the game. So let's get this tree out here and hope it doesn't fall on us with our super awesome flint axe. Alright, I nearly died to this one in the previous episode, and also while I was recording the earlier one I ran into a skeleton, which is not really something you want to do early on in the game, because they do kind of hurt. That one nearly one hit me, and I had to like do hit and run attacks on it until it decided to die again. Yeah, so that was not fun. Zero armor, not even a shield, and the skeleton right away. That was not. Oh god, that's the skeleton. That's another skeleton. I think I may have kind of ended up in a pretty bad spot here. I'm not supposed to be fighting skeletons. Oh, that was an ogbeck. And okay, so well, I did not have a flint axe then. But yeah, as you can see, running around at night can be, well, it's still morning or getting morning-ish. But yeah, it can be dangerous. Those skeletons really do hit hard, so... Whew, and I had no food in me, so basic health that Scully hits for like 20 something in one hit, so yeah, that was a lucky one. At least I could show to you how this works. Now this one is a chopping block which upgrades the crafting station. You can see that marker there. If I put it here, what it will do is that now my bench is upgraded to level 2, as you can see, and it gives me new recipes which I can craft, like the leather helmet and cape and stuff like that. Also it lets me upgrade certain things to a higher level. When you are upgrading, you can see here what is required, and it also tells you what level of crafting station you need to be able to do that. So right now our bottleneck is really these leather scraps, because everything we need needs those along with the deer leather, and leather scraps gonna be a pain to hunt down because we're gonna need to farm so many boars. We're just gonna be running around forever and ever and hunt boars. Now sorry. So one other thing we can put here is we can put down our queen bee into a hive, and then this will, and the bees are now happy and they will start generating honey, which is a food type. We have some of it after we collected the bees from one of the abandoned buildings. They like to hang their hives up there, and now these will not attack us any longer unless we hit their hive, and they will generate us honey, which we can either eat ourselves or later on we can also make it into like meads and stuff, so that's kind of nice to have. It's a good thing. Now when we are already building, the one thing we should also talk about is integrity, and this is easier to show if I have like the repair button out. So as you can see, the bottom panels here, they are like blue, and these means that they are supported by the ground. You can see they are grounded, and that's really all the integrity there is to buildings, because as you go further away from something that is supported by the ground, the color starts shifting from green to yellow all the way to like red, orange and red, and that's when it starts breaking down. So there is no actual, you do not need like cross beams and anything to hold these things up. What you really need is just support coming from the ground. What matters is how far you are actually from the ground. And we can easily show this if we go into the building and take like wood floors and we make them pop over there. So you can see this is now green. If I add one more, this is still green. Okay, well, that's like a lighter green now. If I go further, now this is now turning orange. And this one should already be red. So because this is not supported by anything, it just comes out here. If I add one more, then that one more block will actually break down. Like you can see, that one no longer holds up. Now we can try and see if we can add the wood pole to this. Somewhere like this. Yep, if it would reach up there, that would be grand, but we can add one more to it. Alright, well, that looks quite terrible, but it does the job, because now you see this is supported, so I could start adding to it again. So I could start just building out from it again, and with this we could build a whole ramp to the water and just run out from our house and jump into the lake if we chose to do so. But this is basically how building works. So it doesn't really matter whether you have supports going out of it or not. What really matters is how many pieces you are away from a supported item. Later on we can get like 4-meter long core wood poles, and we can get like iron supports and stuff like that. And there will also be wooden blocks, or no, sorry, stone blocks, because we are using wood right now. So stone blocks which act like supports as long as you keep building on top of them, so you can raise really high walls as long as they are only stone. So that's also pretty nice to have in the game. But yeah, early on here we are pretty much limited to what we have. And there in the distance I can see something that looks like a deer, and I think we cannot try and like go closer to it and then see if we can hit it. I am quite a terrible shot, I'm not gonna lie. I never liked the... Alright, so point blank range works. But yeah, not gonna lie, I'm not a good shot in this. The way it works for shooting, maybe I can show you before attacking the deer, is that if you hold down the left mouse button, you start aiming, and the smaller the circle is, the tighter your aim will be. But you can see that this all costs stamina. Wow, I managed to hit that wood. Alright, so this is the way you aim. You kind of want to be aiming for a while, and that will also affect your not just the aim of the shot, but the damage. And that deer there is somewhere in the underwood, or in the yeah, the problem is that your shots don't really have penetration, and the projectile has a drop rate. Alright, I think we hit it. Now one more thing to know is that bows can also do surprise attacks. So if your enemy is not seeing you, you will be doing extra damage, which is quite nice, because that way you can do these sneaky shots or like range shots. Well, range shots, that sounds wrong. But yeah, so the point is that as long as your enemy doesn't really see you, you can like... Yeah, that missed because it was moving away. And as I have said, I am not a great shot. Alright. So with these early bow, you kinda need to aim above. Ah! There is something behind me. Come here, you. You are tasty. Which is a very Viking thing to do. We used to joke around that we would jump out of our longship and throw ourselves at the raspberries or whatever the place was hiding, because tasty. So yeah, now I'm trying to find more flintstones, because I could upgrade my axe then. Usually I like to play with the axes, because they are kind of multifunctional. You can use them as weapons, you can use them as wood chopping items, which is really needed, because later on the wood gets harder and it becomes harder to take out. But I think I picked up all the flint in this area, so I will not be finding any more here. Oh, I see something moving there. Is that a boar, or is it like another deer? Something was running there, definitely. Let's see if we can move a bit closer. Is it gone? Or am I blind? It's a bit hard to see from the growth here. I might have just imagined it then. Whatever. No, there's a boar there. There's definitely a boar there now. Well, that definitely alerted it to my presence. But charging me isn't that easy, Mr. Boar. And there was a friend of that guy, which we also managed to hit. And it didn't give us... oh, it just gave us some scraps. So we have 3 scraps now, but we will need armor, and we will need upgrades to our bow, maybe to our axe. We will need a shield. All of these need leather scraps. So, oh, that's a graining. Let's hit the graining. And this knockback means that if you can hit it again while it's knocked back, then you will be doing extra damage. But since it's also a knockback, you kind of have to like move after it. This can be funny in multiplayer, where you can knock monsters into other players and they can like kill it, or sometimes we just like surround monsters and chop away at them, because also their health goes up as you have more people in a multiplayer session. But alright, so this is where we are now. After a bit of upgrading, we need to run around and just hunt down all the wildlife we can find, collect as many leather scraps as we can. Oh, there's more mushrooms, also good. And then upgrade our gear, and once we have enough deer trophies, we can try and challenge the first boss. This first zone isn't terribly long, so it's like not too hard to get through. It just takes a while to grind all the leather that you need for your upgrades. So yeah, let's call it here, guys. If you stay this long, as a bonus I will add a small tour of the building that we have created in multiplayer with our friends. That's our main base. Also, we are just in the process of making a new one now, but that's a pretty nice house. I have built a fairly large portion of it, decorated it and stuff. So if you stay this long, then maybe you can check that one out as well. So let's switch over to that one. So as promised, this is our house which we have built with friends. One of them standing in the way right now. A nice little stone mason on the side of the sea. A small courtyard here, and you can run off to the right side as well. But let's go inside. We can see some crafting benches to the right, a teleport gate, and some chests. And if you go in here, you can see a lot of differently labeled teleports which will take you to different places. This is like for fast moving around. And if you come out this gate, you can see our dock with the longship and another ship there that we use to travel around. I may or may not have closed the door behind me. Sometimes I get told off for that. If we go to the other side of the yard, there is more chests, also a smelter, and we used to have a kiln here as well, but my friends moved them. And there is another door which lets you go out to the sea. And yes, I totally left. This time I did leave the door open. But the real nice part is if you go upstairs, where you can see a lot of deer hides in case you got cold feet in the morning. There is a stylish troll head and a brazier with a lot of coals, and on the left there is a big hearth where you can cook or just stare at the flames and be warm. And if you look at the top right, you can see the mini chimney we have for this hearth. That's quite nice, and the ceiling is pretty tall, so you do not get choked by all the smoke. And then you can come out to this balcony and just enjoy the view of the sea, which is quite interesting, that even though the game is kind of low resolution, you can still have some really nice sights in here. And well, I'm lazy, so I'm just jumping down to this balcony, and where we have like this serpent head as decoration. So this has been it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Cloudie out for now. Bye bye.